Beyond the Headlines on the WMBD Plus app, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Brianna Rittman.
And I'm Cameron Main. In today's stories, concerns are being raised with the AI chatbot Grok and how the Miller Park Zoo is planning for the future after a beloved animal has died.
And lastly, how the coffee business is booming in the Peoria area. But first, our first local story of the day. X's AI Grok is able to manipulate images posted on the social media site, including those of women and children. Cameron Main begins in the hot seat. He's been following this story. And so what's happening on X and Grok? I see Grok when I'm like on, you got me saying X, because I've been calling it Twitter.
Your Twitter, it's been like almost 4 years since that change.
And I've been fast.
It's so hard to get adjusted to it. It's like, no, it's X, it's Twitter. But, you know, and when that change happened, there was a bit, you know, people say that with those, like, that website name, it's, you know, a little bit, you know, as suspicious, one might say.
Right.
But basically, transitioning into that, Grok's AI, as you know, people can use it to reply to people's posts like, hey, Grok, can you do this for me? It's very popular on the website, but what people have been able to do when you post an image online, say you post a selfie, I'm like, hey, this is me, cheers.
Right.
And then you put that photo online, Twitter, to the public. Well, there's a little Grok button on the bottom right corner. You can click on it and it allows you to edit that image. And now what users have been able to do is with that image, go, hey, Grok, can you put this in like behind the Taj Mahal, right? And then you like have the image and your background is the Taj Mahal with pretty increasingly scarily accurate, you know, design. But now what people have been doing, and there have been significant pushback on this, you can then go, hey, on a woman's post, or even worse, a child's post, can you put this person in a micro bikini? And that is something that people have been doing online. Anonymous users have been making it to then create basically, you know, porn and child porn. And there's a huge consumer risk part of this because when you post on social media, obviously there are already risks when you post to social media. There's identity theft. There's, you know, already when you're posting stuff about your children and the classes that you put, there's a lot of issues when it comes to security. So this just seems like another problem when you're wanting to use these social media sites to put your photos on. And now it just seems even more difficult and even more unsafe.
Right. So with Grok coming into the conversation, how have lawmakers reacted?
Well, I think the most important thing is lawmakers on both sides have gone against this kind of thing, at least from what I've been able to see and the people that have talked about it. I think overall, lawmakers are very upset with this. Specifically on the state side, I talked to one of the state lawmakers in Springfield who, you know, she's from Glenview, so the Chicago suburbs, but she's been leading deepfake technology, like regulations. So in 2023, she helped pass a law that allowed basically the state to criminalize people spreading deepfake technology. But again, the problem is again, the AI isn't a person. You can't criminally charge it for something. And a lot of these users are anonymous and they can just post this without any, you know, worries of being, you know, pushed back. And again, they could also not be from Illinois where it isn't regulated. I think deepfakes are regulated in at least 46 states, but again, it's that anonymity that is the problem. So then how do you regulate it? Well, it has to come at the big level. It has to be these big tech companies like Google, X, Amazon, where it's like, okay, you need to make sure there's these guardrails in place, but federal law is currently blocking a lot of these regulations, so the state can't come in usually, and because usually the states end up being a little more nimble on, you know, legislation and being able to pass things that, you know, the federal government is a little behind on. But because of Section 230, they're actually delayed in actually how they can regulate this. So it's all waiting on what the federal government's going to do.
Okay, shout out to lawmakers because it reminds me of our industry. You can be working on something for so long and then something new comes up to now, like AI was not an issue a couple of years ago and now it is, and they're still probably trying to get funding for a road that needs to be fixed for the past 30 years. So shout out to them for being diligent about getting this. And real quickly, what can parents do to protect their kids?
So make sure your accounts are locked down. Make sure that, you know, the people that can access your account, if you're going to post images of your children, make sure that it's only, you know, you've got that, you know, your account is private, so only your loved ones, your friends and family can actually see them. And I think the important thing is to know when you are posting online, you are posting images to a broad audience. And you can't really protect yourself from that. So it's understanding that once you post it online, it is online forever. And if you really want to keep it safe, make sure your account is private.
All right, well, thank you, Cameron. Now, the entire Chicago area is still buzzing after that Bears game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And fans everywhere were going nuts when the game finally ended. The Bears shared this montage, so take a look.
And it's snowing.
Did they win?
Gotta love it.
That is honestly so impressive. Like, it was a crazy game. Even someone that isn't into football, I saw they were down like, I think it was like 21-3, and I was like, wow, this must feel bad for the Bears. And then somehow they just make it through, and I'm like, I don't understand football, but it's a very impressive run, honestly, from the Bears currently going on.
Right, because I know last season they had the newsroom stress for all the Bears fans in the newsroom. They just would come to work every week like.
The Bears just, they were
but now
not good
they
last
come back
year.
a little bit more chipper.
Yeah.
One thing that confuses me, maybe in my ear they can explain this, is when they say bear down as like they're happy they won. But to me, down means you like lost.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, I get that sometimes
when they're like
as well.
bear down. I'm like, to me, that means you lost. But, you know, I'm happy. Even Governor J.B. Pritzker got in on the big
Yeah,
thing.
he did the little cheese grater thing. You know, there just seems to be a lot of beef with the Wisconsinites. You know, it's just
like unity in the state because the
people were in the studio, like the stadium, with cheese grater hats. They had cheese graters as well, and it's like, again, Patrick was like, I was talking to Patrick, and they're like, oh, it's so surprising security allowed it to happen.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure if you're security and you're going through the bag, you're like, what's this metal thing? It feels very sharp. Pull it out. Oh, cheese grater. Put it back in. You know what it's being used for.
I think that is so awesome. Sports is a good time. I know you're not into like all the sports, but
look, if they make a generational run, I might become a Bears fan. That game that spoke to my soul, honestly. That was such an impressive game.
Yeah, it was. Congratulations to the Bears and all the Bears fans.
Yeah, exactly. All right, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin Feeman live from the Twin Cities newsroom to talk about the future of Miller Park Zoo.
Welcome back. Our next local story of the day, Miller Park Zoo lost one of their animals last Tuesday. And WMBD's Austin Feeman joins us now to tell us more about the loss and what's next for the zoo. So, Austin, which animal died?
Yes, thank you, Brianna. So unfortunately, Rojo, the Samaritan tiger, passed away last Tuesday. Rojo just turned 19 years old. I was there in December, and they had a birthday sign up for him and everything, but he just turned 19 years old, and he unfortunately passed away on Tuesday. Now, Rojo he came to Miller Park in about 2017. He was at the Topeka Zoo in Kansas before this, where he fathered 2 cubs, which I thought was very, very cute and very sweet. But he came to Miller Park Zoo in 2017, where he has been since. Now, he has been battling a renal disease for a little while now, and was receiving treatment. And unfortunately, the treatment was not working, and the veterinarians taking care of him decided that it would be best to euthanize him, and then they put him down. So now the life expectancy for these tigers is 18 years old, so he definitely lived longer than most tigers, but it's still very sad, and unfortunately these tigers are extremely endangered, so one less tiger in the world. So it's the zoo is definitely mourning the loss, and I know the community is too.
So, Austin, are there plans for the exhibit then?
Yeah, so right now there is no plans for the exhibit. The zoo is, like I said, mourning the loss of the tiger, and you know, it wasn't just an animal. It was more than just an animal. It was a friend, especially to the keepers who loved Rojo very dearly. But you know, there's plans for the exhibit have not been decided in the short-term solution. So in the short term, there's no plans as of yet. In the long term, though, there definitely is some plans that are being thought of. But right now, as of this moment, another tiger will not be put there, or it has not yet decided what is going to go into that exhibit.
Okay, Austin, while there may not be plans for Rojo's exhibit, what are the next plans for the zoo as a whole?
Yeah, so the zoo is currently working on a master plan. It's going to kind of lay out what the zoo is going to look like for the next 15 to 20 years. Now, this plan is expected to take a few months to write up, if not up to a year. So we really won't know anything about that exhibit or anything else about the zoo for a little while now. I know they recently lost another animal not too long ago, and they also lost a red panda, I think, last year. So they're really kind of going back to the drawing board, coming up with a plan of what they're going to do with the zoo, what animals do they want to have or bring in to the zoo. And yeah, but it's really just going to outline the next 2 decades of what Miller Park Zoo is going to look like, which is very, very exciting.
All right, Austin, thank you for your time, and rest in peace, Rojo. Switching gears here, a traditional winter hot air balloon festival took place in Moscow. 30 hot air balloons carrying passengers took part in the festival. Low temperatures do not hinder ballooning, but make it easier as less fuel is required and more passengers can be carried. Passengers are not afraid of the cold, even at an altitude of 900 meters. Cameron, what's the quick math on that in like feet?
900 meters? It's like, well, that's almost close to a kilometer, so I would say it's probably like 0.8 miles.
Okay.
Probably roughly around that. I know by that point you get to feet. The feet is probably, like 2,700 feet,
okay,
roughly around there, maybe 3,000 feet. So pretty high up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact about myself, I've been in a hot air balloon before. Look at me.
Oh my gosh, you're right up at the top.
That is May of 2022 at the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Lakeland, Florida. That's where I was working before I came here. So I was working for a newspaper. And funny story, I prepared for it. I was the features writer at our paper. And the morning meeting the day before, I said, FYI, reminder, I will not be in the meeting tomorrow because I will be in the air. And so they were like, Brianna, did you just say you'll be in the air tomorrow? I was like, yes, you can bring it back to me, y'all. And so I was like, they were like, did you just say you'll be in a hot air balloon? And I was like, yes, I've been telling y'all for the past 2 weeks and everything. And so we also have a NOAA center down there, which deals with the hurricane hunters, and I did a story on them. And so they were like, you can come in the planes with us, obviously with calm weathers and calm waters.
Yeah.
And so I tell my editors, again, I was like, hey, FYI, they said I can come. And they were like, just like to be sure, like you're not going, to be clear, you're not going during a hurricane, are you?
Yeah.
Because they were already shocked that I went in a hot air balloon. But my balloon pilot was actually from Arizona. His name was Patrick. And he said, I was like, what is your like most fun or embarrassing things you have seen or crazy things? And so I was in like one where it's like 2 of us plus the pilot, and they have the ones that carry like 6, 8 or however many people. And he was like, somebody proposed and got denied in one of the bigger balloons.
Oh no.
And they had just got into the air. So like not only did you get rejected, and then y'all just have to wait and you're a couple thousand
this is
feet.
when you talk to your significant other and go like, hey, just making sure we're going to get engaged, right? As, in this past, like, soon.
Right. Like, what does marriage look like for us?
Someone does not have, that's probably also not marriage material right there, because he didn't show the forward thinking to actually have that situation in mind. Yeah, exactly. So she wasn't ready. He should have known it. He's in trouble. Throw him off the balloon.
In front of the people. Now it's just awkward in the air.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. We're sitting down with Jack Bozikas to tell us about a new coffee shop coming to Peoria.
Oh, yeah, he is. Welcome back. Another big local story of the day, an update on a highly anticipated coffee shop coming to Peoria. Jack Bazikas joins us now to give us an update. So, Jack, thanks for coming on. And what is coming to Peoria?
Yes, a Dutch Bros Coffee is coming to Peoria. It's been kind of on the table here for almost a year now, 9 months. Back in April, we reported on it. And, I mean, long story short, yeah, it's just been kind of, there hasn't been much movement on the project in the last 9 months because there's been a lot of, you know, environmental stuff and legal stuff that they have to go through. So
it's not the easiest thing to start up a shop.
No, it's not. But I have some good news because I talked to 2nd District City Councilman Alex Carmona, and he told me that they're hoping to break ground this March or April, and they're hoping to have it done by later in the fall of this year.
Oh, okay, that's
right,
exciting.
when it starts cooling down for some hot coffee.
Yeah, so that's what
y'all drink coffee in the summertime.
That's what the timeline is looking like, but that's, permitting that nothing goes wrong or anything like that. But from what he was saying, he used to live by a Dutch Bros Coffee in some other state, I think. And and he was saying that wherever Dutch Bros Coffee goes, businesses follow, and there's going to be more traffic down here. It's going to be on the intersection of War Memorial and University, so right by the station.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be
the coffee connoisseurs.
Yeah.
So you might see us there. At
You
some
might
point.
see us there.
There's not a might. Y'all are gonna be there like every day.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. And I'm not too much of a coffee drinker, but from what I've heard, Dutch Bros is pretty good.
Okay. I like my coffee, but I do like some of the local shops in the area.
Yeah.
Zion Coffee down there is pretty good.
And that's another thing. I also tried to reach out to 7 Brew today, who they have a special use permit in East Peoria right now for a drive-through, but nobody got back to me, unfortunately. I tried reaching out to some city council members in East Peoria, and
So we don't
just
have
haven't heard back. Yeah.
Now, Dutch Bros is the same one that just recently is relocating to, or there's a Bloomington location coming too,
Yeah,
right?
there's a Bloomington location coming. There's one already in like Champaign, Urbana, right around there. So yeah, hopefully it brings in some people. And I believe the Peoria one will be here first, and then the Bloomington one.
Okay, so we're gonna have.
And then we'll build one in Washington, Pekin, Morton.
Right, gonna be like Dunkin' and Starbucks around.
Yeah,
Dunkin',
like
Starbucks, and Dutch Bros.
We'll become the center of Dutch Bros.
Center of Dutch Bros.
Central Illinois, center
Mind
of Dutch Bros.
Dunkin's already on this street as well.
Yeah.
And people get their McDonald's coffee, so wow.
So we're gonna have plenty of options. Got Dunkin', got McDonald's.
Battle of the Coffee Giants.
Battle of the Coffee Giants.
Could imagine the graphic already.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, switching gears here, we have our movie expert, Jack, well, none other than Jack. So, Jack, we wanted to get your thoughts on the Golden Globes that aired last night.
Yeah, it was good. I thought most of the movies that won deserved to win.
Were there any surprises?
Disappointments, but no surprises.
Yeah, I would say disappointments, but no surprises. Sinners took a lot home, and
Sinners took like what, 2?
did they take them home too?
They've been snubbed this award season.
Did they?
Yes.
I caught,
and one of them they
caught
didn't even
a
air.
little bit of it. Yeah, you're right. Sinners deserved to win. Sinners was some of the one that got snubbed, but that was my favorite movie of the year. That and Superman. But so I'm excited to see what the Oscars have in store for that. But let's talk about Nikki Glaser, because Nikki Glaser has hosted it now. This is her 2nd year hosting the Golden Globes.
Okay.
She is phenomenal, and there's such a fine line between being funny and being offensive. And in a room full of celebrities, like she's got to make the people at home here laugh.
Right.
So stuff that they find funny might not be funny, but like saying, making the joke about Leonardo DiCaprio and his
people.
We don't
like
want
that.
another Will Smith and Chris Rock situation.
Like I could totally see some celebrities being upset about that, but she rides that line of like, oh, we don't know anything about you because you haven't done an interview since 1990 or whatever.
Yeah, that's
and
so
there's that
funny.
fine line, and she's very, very talented, and she's very funny. And
I saw the Ariana joke earlier when
Which one
she
was
said
that?
to Ariana, well, it was Ariana and Kevin Hart. She said to Ariana, I would listen to you sing a phone book. So Bart, take the one from that Kevin Hart's sitting on. That was cute.
As soon as you said phone book and Kevin Hart, I knew where you were going with that. But yeah, she's coming to Peoria. Nikki Glaser is coming next November, I think.
Oh, okay.
So you know me, I like to interview the comedian. So hopefully I can get an interview with her, and we can, do some promotion.
Take her to Dutch Bros.
Take her to Dutch Bros. Exactly.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines.
You can find all these stories and more over on our website, ciproud.com.